welcome back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be another Catrice review. And what do I like most from Catrice? Of course, their base products, foundations and concealers. I was stumbling across Catrice stand when I was in Vienna last week. I'm recording this in the middle of July. I'm not sure exactly when the video will be up, but I just wanted to shoot this review before actually going to vacation. So when I have seen their new line, I picked up the Clean ID High Cover Luminous Matte Foundation in the shade 010 Neutral Sand and the corresponding concealer, the Clean ID High Cover Concealer in the shade Porcelain. No, Neutral Sand also 010, so both are on the same shade. And I want to put them to the test. So on today's video, on the first part, I'm wearing them alone, but tomorrow I want to film a second part of this wear test where I'm going to put this to the test against the True Skin, the foundation and the concealer. I think it will be really fun to see how they wear. This is not the first time when I'm wearing those products. I have been testing them for the past couple of days. This Clean ID range, I think they have released it last year, and I also have other products from their Clean ID range. This is the Mineral Bronzer, which I picked up last year. I did not use it today because I'm also wear testing and reviewing other products from Catrice that I purchased on the same trip, but I will have a different separate review for those. I just don't want to mix foundation with the rest of the products, so for this reason you'll have two Catrice videos from me. I know that you love my Catrice reviews. The Clean ID High Cover Luminous Matte Foundation is coming, at least according to their website, in 3 shades. This is the new foundation and I think they are testing to see how it is received. This foundation with 98% natural ingredients ensures all-round stress-free experience and results. The High Cover Luminous Matte Foundation from the Clean ID range offers medium buildable coverage, leaves behind a natural finish and gives the skin a soft glow. The gluten-free and non-comedogenic formula is also ideal for sensitive skin. To make sure it lasts all day and looks absolutely flawless, we recommend the Clean ID Pore Minimizing Primer or the Clean ID Insta Bright Serum Primer. Both also contain 96% natural ingredients and are therefore completely worry-free for you and for your skin. Now, I did not pick up their primers. I just wanted to see how the foundation and the concealer perform on their own. For the application, on my right side I have used a beauty sponge. So this is by Elf. And this one is by a brand that I received from my friend Leah. I will put it on the screen because I forgot how it's called. For my eyes, for my under eye area. And on my left side, I have used the brush application method. When I got the BK Beauty brush, I remember that many years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, not so much, I got this BH Cosmetics brush 137 and the concealer brush that have similar shape, just the size is smaller, and I remember how much I was enjoying applying the foundation with this brush. So this is what I did today. I've used this to apply the foundation and the concealer on the left side. And I want to tell you guys that usually I prefer the application with a sponge, but however, I find that I get flawless coverage with both of them. So no matter what method I use, I love the coverage. You can tell when I switch off the light, my right side where I've applied using a beauty sponge versus the left side, it's almost identical. But what the difference I noticed that on the left side I have used way less product that I use on my right side to have the same coverage. So as we know, the sponge, it's eating up the product, but using the brush I have a perfect flawless canvas to begin with. So I was so surprised to see how nice it's working to apply it with a brush, because Previously I have used the BK Beauty brush and I think I did not like it so much. I don't know exactly why, but I loved more applying the same foundation with the BH Cosmetics 137 brush. And the same applies for the concealer. So I have used the brush 138 for concealer. The foundation came in a squeezy tube. This is the only downside that I can see, because this is not so handy, and sometimes when I'm squeezing I find myself that I even squeeze too much product or I don't squeeze enough. So yeah, just a small inconvenience, but other than that I love the shade. I think it's matching me perfectly. Even though it looked a bit lighter for me, I'm also self-tanned, but somehow when I've applied it blended perfectly and I don't look that I'm wearing a lighter foundation, and I can see that it's slightly oxidizing, not so much. The same applies for the concealer. It applies perfectly. I have no problem to apply it either with a sponge or with a brush, and I can set it with a light setting powder and it looks natural. Both products look natural on me. To set my foundation I have used the True Skin Mineral Loose Powder by Catrice, and to set my concealer I have used the Inica setting powder, just because I have better results while I'm using this powder on my under eye area. I find that it's a little bit more lightweight and doesn't give any color payoff. Also, I could notice that the concealer, the Clean ID High Cover Concealer, is slightly oxidizing, which is okay. I don't have any problem with that. Now for the concealer, the Clean ID High Cover Concealer by Catrice. This is also coming in only 3 shades. So I got a shade 010, which is neutral sand, and what they say, the Clean ID High Cover Concealer reliably covers dark circles under the eyes to ensure a long-lasting, fresh and alert appearance. Simply apply the liquid concealer over dark shadows, redness and skin impurities and blend gently with your fingers or a sponge. Contains 98% natural ingredients, is a perfume-free and non-comedogenic, and also can be used with sensitive skin without any worries. I actually love the packaging that they provide for the Clean ID High Cover Concealer. This reminds me of their Camouflage Concealer. That was one of my all-time favorites, so I also love the shade. I find with Catrice concealers, and especially with the concealers, but also foundations, that they have very good neutral shades that they are matching more skin tones. I really enjoyed the way that the concealer applied under my eyes, and I also love the fact that it's a clean formula. So this is the full face. I have 1 hour since I'm wearing everything. Meanwhile, I have been filming another video also applying several Catrice products, and I'm going to also show you how this foundation and concealer looks by the end of the day. So till then, stay tuned. Hi guys, we are in the end of the first day of testing the new Catrice Clean ID High Coverage Luminous Matte Foundation and Catrice Clean ID High Cover Concealer. So I have almost 10 hours, it's 22 right now, and I've applied those products right after lunch. And I want to tell you guys that I really enjoyed the way that those products were throughout the day. So I did not touch up my face whatsoever. I just powder and use a setting spray because I was filming in parallel another video also for Catrice. So from this reason I used a setting spray. But let me tell you one thing, guys. So no setting spray or powder will save a bad foundation. This is not the case with Catrice because we know that they know how to do base products. So I'm really happy. I want to say that I was not expecting to like it so much due to the fact that they are clean. It means that they have no bad ingredients, bad like preservatives and things that make your foundation last longer, so they are more suitable for sensitive skin, they are non-comedogenic, they have all those good stuff, and still they are able to perform like any other favorite foundation. So as of now, I will say that this foundation and this concealer can easily go to my top 5 favorite products from each category. This is how much I like it, and I can tell that because this is actually the 3rd time when I'm wearing this foundation. It's not a first impression. Welcome to the 2nd day of testing the new Catrice Clean ID High Cover Luminous Matte Foundation. As I told you yesterday, today I am going to wear test it against their old and very popular foundation, the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. On both foundations I have the same number of shade, 010, and the same applies for the concealers. But whilst the Clean ID corresponding shade, it is called Neutral Sand, on the True Skin, the same 010 shade, it is called Cool Cashmere. Now I took some swatches both in natural light and in studio light, and you can see on the top I have the Clean ID foundation on the left side and concealer in the right side, and on the downside, on the bottom, I have the True Skin line. On the left side I have the foundation, and on the right side I have the concealer. And I can tell that the Clean ID foundation shade, it's a bit neutral, whilst the True Skin dries down to more pinky shade. I don't see almost any difference on the concealer side of the story. I think both shades are similar, and I want to tell that all the shades that I'm showing you are matching me perfectly. Before we are starting, I want to tell you something which I forgot to say yesterday in the end of the day, that even though I could see by the end of the day that I was a bit glowy, I did not see any movement of the foundation. It did not collect in any of the fine lines around the mouth, around the E-levels, even though I don't have E-levels. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I have some lines on the forehead. It didn't grab on the pores, so it was wearing impeccable. I was just getting a glow, because not only because it was really hot, but I forgot again, and I used that damn Caudalie SPF 50 lotion, which is really glowy. Don't worry, I have just a little bit left, so I will be done with that and never buy it. Today I used my beloved Ulta MD SPF 44, which I love so much. I have a entire review for my favorite SPF, so I will link everything down on the description box. And yeah, and now returning to our wear test. I will try to remember exactly what I did, because I have 2 hours since I've applied my makeup. On my right side of the face, your left, I am wearing the Clean ID foundation by Catrice in shade 010 and the corresponding concealer, and I've applied everything with a sponge, because the True Skin foundation, I don't like so much the way that it applies with a brush, so I all the time apply it with a sponge. So for this reason I said I will not use a separate method of application. And as you can tell, after I've applied both foundations, if you closely look up to my skin, you'll be able to tell that on the left side, where I am wearing the True Skin foundation, you can actually tell that I have foundation. So this is something which I don't like on this foundation on me. I know that this is a cult favorite. Even Tati loves this foundation, and she said that is the best thing under the sun. But even since I've done my first review back in 2020, I will try to find that section on that review and pop it here on the screen. I was telling you that this foundation, I like it, but it's not my favorite. And I haven't changed my opinion ever since. It looks gorgeous on camera, but if you look at me in natural life and natural light, you'll be able to tell that I'm wearing foundation. It's not a bad foundation, but I think it's a bit more not flattering on me. It's just a matter of personal preferences. It's a fantastic and very, very long lasting foundation. Doesn't get cakey, oily, anything else. Just the fact that it emphasizes my texture is the only complaint that I have for the True Skin, whilst the Clean ID doesn't do that. But we will be able to tell this by the end of the day, because I'm going to put them to the test for 8 to 10 hours, depending on I will be done with my day, and I will let you guys know by the end of the day how those foundations look like. And also I want to do a side note, because on my True Skin review foundation, I was telling you guys that I like this one, but the HD Liquid Coverage Foundation, which is their older, it's like this is the grandmother and this is the granddaughter, I can say like that. So the grandmother, it's still one of my top 10 foundations as of now. So this looks impeccable on me, on camera and on real life, and it's really comparable with the Clean ID. Just I find that the Clean ID looks even more natural on me. It makes my skin look flawless. Not that I have a problem with that regard on this foundation, but I think this is just a tad more heavy comparing with the Clean ID. So as of now, you know what I like. About the concealer, I can definitely tell, even from the first review, I was not so impressed with the True Skin concealer, and the Clean ID is definitely a winner. And also, comparing with their grandmother, the Liquid Camouflage Concealer, I will say that this is on the 3rd position, because this doesn't last. It looks nice on me, it applies perfectly, but doesn't last on me. So if I will have to make a taupe, I will have this on the 1st position, the Clean ID, the 2nd is True Skin, and the 3rd position is the Camouflage Concealer. One thing I forgot to mention yesterday, that before using, it's recommended, it is written here that shake well before use, because it's more liquidy. However, I could see when I was swatching them side by side that this formula is even more liquidy, more runny on the True Skin than it is on the Clean ID one. So if I were to have a small complaint about the Clean ID, I would say that I much more prefer this type of packaging than the Squeeze It 2. You can tell after 2 hours that both sides look impeccable. I don't have any shine, any glow, excepting the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Floss filter that I'm wearing as my highlight, but this is the only glow that I have. And the only difference that I made today, I used the Catrice Nude Illusion Loose Setting Powder instead of the True Skin, the one that I used yesterday. And I was not using, yesterday I used a setting spray, today I'm not wearing a setting spray. So from this reason, we will be able to tell exactly how the things are wearing. So no more talking, and see you by the end of the day. But I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch, and till my next video, stay safe, be blessed, be beautiful, and have a fantastic time, guys. Bye bye. Okay guys, we are in the end of the 2nd day, where we have tested the new Catrice Clean ID High Cover Luminous Matte Foundation against, and concealer, against the True Skin Hydrating Foundation and Concealer. I will zoom in just a bit to see, but we definitely have a clear winner. On the right side, I see almost no transformation, versus on the left side, where I am wearing the True Skin foundation, I have here and there product moving, and it's more visible on the forehead. And also the actual texture, it's more pronounced on this cheek, and actually my left cheek has less scars than the right cheek, so I did a favor to this foundation that I applied on the cheek where I have leg texture. So yeah, this is the fact. I knew from the first moment when I have put the Clean ID foundation on my face that I'm going to love it more than I ever loved the True Skin Hydrating Foundation. And also for the concealer, I can tell that on the right side where I'm wearing the Clean ID concealer, I almost don't have any creasing, just a bit of a fallout from the mascara, whilst on the side where I'm wearing the True Skin concealer, I do have a bit of a texture, so it's visible that. Okay, sorry about that interruption. My daughter required some assistance. It's late in the night, it's almost 10:30 p.m. So yeah, at this video we definitely have a clean winner or winners. The Catrice Clean ID High Cover Foundation and Concealer are my new favorite base products from Catrice.